So here's a quick little video that shows you how to set up PB Butler, regardless whether or not you use the onboarding system or not. That will be covered in a different video. But right now, let's say you're starting from scratch and you want to set up your accounts and your users, your TWS users, and your strategies. You can do that very easily by starting up PB Butler, going to the configuration tab, and then you've got all the options right here. So for one thing you can do is you can set the minimum buy order size. So for instance, if you need to, for instance, let's say you want to make sure that you're always buying at least one share or 100 shares or whatever of whatever symbol it is, you can always set that right here and do that. This Alpha Vantage API key is to get free stock quotes. You can easily get one at the API. You can just click on this link and it'll open up the web page, and it's a free sign up to get that. Otherwise, if you don't use that, there's no problem. I can get the PB Butler gets the stock quotes from other sources. Not a problem. And there's also here default settings for buying and selling market and limit orders. So for instance, if you do this, you can see here there's transmit immediately, where I would recommend setting this to false if you're using a non-margin account and you're worried that you might not have enough cash in the account to cover all of the buys before the sells take place. This will allow PB Butler to submit the trade but not transmit it, so it doesn't get rejected. This will be handled in a more sophisticated way in a future version, but for now that's how it's being done. You can also determine overrides for iceberg orders. So these are the defaults here that you have, but let's say you want to override this and you want the threshold to be a bigger number, say 300, and the display size to be 100, whatever. You can definitely override that, not a problem, by just using these. The relative to pegged orders, by default this is true, and you can also control the fixed or a percentage offset for the price that will be calculated, and also the market price offset that's used for the calculation for market orders. As well, you can see that there is a tooltip that pops up on every one of these controls so that you know exactly what it is that you're doing. Makes it super easy to go forward. Same thing with the limit orders and sell orders. So you have all those controls. Close that. And now let's set up the user account. So let's say you have a user, user 1, and you can see we automatically set the host ID, the host IP rather, the socket port, and the client ID. And there's explanations here on what to do in TWS to make sure that everything works. And there's also, like I said before, tooltips that pop up to explain exactly what these are. So let's say we do that. So you can see user 1. Let's add another user, user 2. And same thing, and you can see the socket port and the client ID automatically gets incremented to make sure that there's no conflict, and so on and so forth. And now let's say we select user 1 and we want to add an account for that user, trading account. So let's call that account 1, and everything here is explained below. You can see in this nice little graphic, and the account number is typically your account number that is displayed in your portal. So I'll just put in a dummy account number. For now it doesn't matter, but it will matter if you want to enter in trades correctly. So I will do that. I'll put in another one, account 2, blah blah blah, do that. And so you can see here that user 2 has no trading accounts, user 1 has 2 of them. So let's put, and now let's set up, so you can add more for user 2, not a problem, as many as you like. And then for user 1 and account 1, let's enter in a strategy that we're going to be trading, a portfolio bot strategy. So let's say that this is called Josh 101, and this is in the workbook, users. So you just basically type that in, and you can see there's a nice little autocomplete here that you can just really easily use. And I'll just pick one of them, and then this sheet here in this case will be called the same thing, Josh 100, but it could have a different name because, for instance, Excel does have limitations on certain characters that are illegal, and a limitation on the sheet name as well. So if your strategy name is too long, we can fix that for you automatically, but I would recommend you do that. This is assuming you've already set this up on your own. In the onboarding process, this is all done for you. and so forth. So here you can see that, and you can do that for more strategies here. Now the other cool thing that you can do is you could override the global settings for buying and selling at an account level and also at a strategy level. So simply by double clicking here, you can see that you can override those settings for any one of these. Okay, so basically every account, every strategy can have its own particular settings to allow you to do that quite easily. And let's say you're no longer trading the strategies, go in, delete it, and also let's say you've renamed it, you can also go in and rename that quite easily right there. Just very straightforward. So it's super easy to do, easy to set up. Like I said, the onboarding process makes it even easier than that, but this is also pretty simple, and you'll be able to get up and running with PB Butler in no time. So that's it. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Happy trading.